Okay, this is Matt from Tooth and Nail Armory. Today I'm going to put one of our Forends on the Leader Arms PW12 shotgun. First thing you need to do is remove the barrel and the existing Forend. Make sure that you lower the feed ramps here before you remove the barrel. Do not allow the bolt to slam forward and engage those plastic feed ramps. They will break. Then you've got some problems. To remove the bolt from the gun, the bolt carrier, you need to line this little half moon window up with the bolt handle, and then that will pull out. It's pretty stiff on some of them. It has this little detent. If you can get the camera just right, that detent spring holds it in there. So sometimes it's pretty hard to pull out. But go ahead and remove the bolt carrier. This is actually a bolt carrier that goes back to the early days of the MK 1919 bolt carrier drive block setup. And this is a Charles Daly locking block, or similar, the same size as the Charles Daly field gun. But anyway, once you get your bolt and bolt carrier out, you're ready to remove the guide rod here and this piece on the end that holds your plastic forend on. So get this put in a vise, and then the easiest way is with this tool here. It's called a stud extractor. There's other ways to get it out, but this will make your job a whole lot easier. Many parts stores have these for rent. You can buy them online for just about $8–10. I think this one is made by KD Tools. It'll work fine for this purpose here. So let me get this in the vise, and we'll see if we can get this guide rod out and put a Forend on here. Alright, so we've got the gun in a padded vise here. Got the stud extractor onto the guide rod, and you simply just turn it. Some of them are pretty stiff. This one had a little bit of Loctite on it, but basically that's turn that loose. Kind of hard doing all this with one hand. I need a way to mount my camera. There's the guide rod, action rod as some people call it. Got a little bit of Loctite on there, and there is your bare gun ready to receive the Tooth and Nail Armory handguard. Alright, ready to assemble the gun, put the Forend on. This particular gun, when we disassemble it the first time, the guide rod on here is so short that about this much was sticking out past the end of the handguard, and I don't trust that to hold the complete barrel handguard and everything on. So on this particular one, we put an extra shim back here to help facilitate getting that guide rod a little bit longer, so we can get more than about one turn on the threads engaged when we put the handguard on. So we'll go ahead and get the barrel on and put the handguard on. Make sure when you put this spacer on that you get the O-ring on there and up against the gas lug on the barrel. This system runs full gas all the time, which I think that's kind of risky, being all the lightweight components that are inside the gun, but we'll see how they hold up. We got a little spacer to take up the thickness of the extra thick Forend cap that comes from the factory. And on this particular gun, we are using a flat dark earth handguard. Got a little locating dowel pin in there. can do this with one hand maybe. Alright, so there we've got a pretty decent amount of threads. We like to put a rubber O-ring on there just to help keep the nut tight. Helps dampen the vibration, keep it from vibrating loose. So, alright, ready to put the nut on, tighten everything down. Just using an old magazine that was broken for this to hold it in the vise here, makes it a little easier to work on. But there we have your PW12 with a tooth and nail Armory Forend on it. Just nice and solid there. You can't, no twisting. It mates up very nicely with the existing top rail. So there you have it. Ready to put on some better sights than what comes from the factory. We generally recommend a red dot. I personally like the J-point circle dot mount, but burst fast fire makes a nice one as well. So once again, this is Matt, Tooth and Nail Armory, with the PW12 shotgun. We will be making a stock adapter, which will go right here for in a short time. We've been making one for the MKA 1919 for about 3.5–4 years now, but the PW12 is more squared off in this area than the MKA 1919, so we will make a stock adapter that matches the contours of this lower. Stay tuned.